We also have the brand name tvfrederick.com, and this is our micro TV studio. And I'm going to run through it real quick here. I did another broadcast on the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Frederick County, which talked about the benefits to businesses for having a TV studio. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, watch that live stream. If you're just interested in the nuts and bolts of how I've got this set up, you're at the right place right now, because I'm going to run through it. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch to, first of all, I'm going to take off the lower effect here. Switch back to camera 1. And now I'm going to run through the camera angles for you first. That's camera 1. Camera 2 is a close-up of the Sound Devices MixPre-6 unit in all its glory. Camera 3 is a slightly wider shot showing the Roland switcher, hardware switcher, and the preview monitor, and then the VidiuPro streaming box here. So it's showing the main elements, the main components here that I want to talk about as far as what makes up this micro TV studio. And the reason I call it a micro TV studio is this takes about a 4-foot by 4-foot space to set this up. So really anybody has that amount of space that they could set up their own TV studio, if you ask me. So let me run through it and run through what I've set up and some of the recent updates and so forth. So starting with let's go to the close shot. All right, this shot here is a Sony A7sII with a Voigtlander 40mm f1.4 lens. I think it's at about f2.8 right now. That's generating this shot. This is what I call the money shot, right? The nice background bokeh, those little Christmas lights in the background and all that. The only reason this camera's in the shot, which is my A7S Mark II, is because I'm giving you that close-up of the switcher and all with that camera. Normally, of course, you wouldn't have that camera in your money shot, and you wouldn't have this other camera, the Lumix, in the shot either. That's the one that's giving us the close-up on the MixPre. So you've got 3 camera angles to work with, and then the laptop is the 4th input. So if I go to camera 2 again, that's the close-up of the Sound Devices recorder, and I am recording the audio separately, so I'll give you a comparison. Once I sync the audio, I'll give you an A/B comparison of what the audio sounds like. Well, actually, since I'm streaming this live, it's going to be tricky to do, but I may put a short version of this up with the comparison between the two, if there's any kind of significant difference. But anyway, the benefit of having this recorder is you can record separate audio as well as feed it into the mixer, and I'll get to that next. So if I go to this shot here, excuse me, you can see a little more of the setup, and again, the MixPre is here, and you can just see that Sennheiser sticking up. That's in input 4. That's my wireless mic system. I'll go into that in a moment. I have a full review of that Sennheiser AVX system on my channel. Fantastic wireless system. I sold my old Sennheiser units, and I have not looked back. Let me think what else. Okay, and then of course we've got the Roland switcher here, which has various effects. One of the cool effects is if I hit B right here, notice how I get this side-by-side effect. So let's say I wanted to talk about the switcher and show you what the switcher does, but I wanted to still be on camera. I can do that. Now, if you had the 2 cameras at 2 different people, then you could put them side by side and let them talk about whatever they're going to talk about. So, that's one effect. I already showed you the lower third when I started out, how you can use the laptop feed to create a lower third, and I'll show you how that effect works also. Well, actually, I can go ahead and show you now. So what I would typically do is I would have, let's say we're on camera 2 here, and let's say we've got camera 3 selected here, and I go down like this. Okay, so right now I've got, if I put, oh, I have to take that effect off. I'm sorry. Can't have 2 effects at the same time. So if I go here, if I go to camera 1 on top and put camera 4 on deck, actually let's go to camera 3 so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so right now I've got camera 3 is hot, and you can see the red line around the camera feed, so they can tell that that's what's broadcasting, okay? And then on deck is the one with the green around it, all right? And that happens to be the computer with the lower third. Now what I need to do before I slide this slider up is I need to select the effect A, and that'll do the chroma key effect. And what that's going to do is that's going to get rid of all the black on that graphic and just show the white lettering. So when I bring this up, you can see there it superimposes the Frederick.com over the screen. And now both of these are hot. You can see that's how you can tell I've got this effect working. They're both hot. So what I would do to switch cameras now is I use the lower buttons, and I can switch cameras, and I still have the lower third there all the time. Now, needless to say, I can also use the laptop for other purposes. So let's say that I'm going to now turn the effect off. Now let's say that I want to show a video. Go over here to the laptop. And I'll play a little opener here. You make it full screen. All right, and then I can cut to the laptop, hit the space bar, and I can play that.
TV Frederick is live now with Taylor Huffman.
All right, so I could play any kind of video I want. I can show my desktop. I can, you know, whatever you want, I can show it. So that's the flexibility that you get when you've got one of your inputs is the computer. Now again, on this Roland switcher, I've got 4 inputs, 4 HDMI inputs. They also make one that has SDI inputs for more money. But I've got 4 HDMI inputs, and right now I've got 3 cameras going in and the computer into the 4th one. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the MixPre-6 and how I set that up. So right now I've got 4 audio inputs into this unit. Right now I'm talking on the Shure Beta57a, which is on the boom arm that you see, and that you saw in the first shot. In this shot here, there's the Beta57. And then in number 2, I have an SM58, number 3 an SM57, and number 4 I have my wireless mic. So first I'll demonstrate the wireless mic. Let me go back to camera 3. Here's the Sennheiser system, and this is really a cool system. And typically this would be used as a lavalier. You see the lavalier mic here. You put the transmitter in your pocket and fish this wire up underneath your shirt and clip it on your shirt. But I'm just going to use it like this for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to power it up. And see that light on the top is red, and see the light's red on the receiver there. Just bump my mic. Now see how they're both green? This mic is now hot. Now I'm going to swing the swim arm out of the way so it's further away. So now I'm talking into the Sennheiser wireless system. And of course, since this is wireless, I can walk wherever I want with it and have good audio. So the beauty of this Sennheiser, let me go ahead and walk and demonstrate. The beauty of this Sennheiser system is there's no searching for signal frequencies like the older Sennheiser EW100 system. If you didn't search for frequencies at a new location, you might have a problem with interference, and I've run into that. And I actually sold my old EW100 rig and bought this Sennheiser AVX system, and I bought one lav mic setup, which is what I'm using right now, and then I bought another one because I liked them so much, and then I bought the E&G style mic, handheld mic setup that has the same receiver but has a handheld microphone. So I'm a big fan of this AVX system. They just work. You turn them on and they just work. Now the receiver there, I actually have a micro USB cord plugged into it, so it's actually being powered all the time, so I don't have to worry about the battery running down in that, and the battery in the transmitter lasts for many hours, so really not a problem as far as battery life in this kind of a setup. So let me go ahead and turn this off. All right, now I've grabbed a handheld mic. I'm going to switch to so you can see the close-up of the recorder. Now I've grabbed an SM57 mic, handheld mic, and I've just got it, a Mogami cable just running into input number 3 on the mixer, and you can see the level meter going over on level 3, and you can see that I went into the output settings and made sure that this is going to both the left and the right channel. That was a little bit tricky to make sure that was all set up. And then I'm going to go switch over to the other mic. Now I'm on the SM58 mic. The SM58 mic, again, handheld mic. This one's on about a 4-foot Mogami cable going into input number 2 on the mixer. Yeah, I think that's input 2. Yeah, that's input 2 on the mixer. So, so I've kind of just now demonstrated all 4 inputs being used. Now, one issue that I have had, and maybe somebody can chime in the comments, is the input for a lavalier, like plug a lavalier mic into the 3.5 millimeter input. It only goes up to 60 dB of gain, and that is not enough for this scenario that I'm doing here. What I'm doing is I'm running the 3.5 millimeter output out of the MixPre-6. I'm running it into the Roland, which I believe the Roland is really looking for a line level input. So what I had to do on the MixPre-6 is on the output, I had to put it at the max, which it reads as 0 dB, and then I cranked the gain up pretty high on these mics. I think they're like 65 or 70. Let me go into the settings and I can tell you exactly what they are. Let's go in here, hit the settings. Oh, I'm sorry, let me just go to mic 2, which is the one we're on right now, and go to gain. And yeah, I'm at 70 dB, you can see there, in order to get enough gain on this microphone. So, and I can't go to 70 dB on the stereo channel. See, if I switch to that, see it says 60 dB, and that's it. If I try to turn it higher, it doesn't go any higher than that. So I'm kind of stuck as far as being able to use a microphone, a lavalier mic, plugged into that 3.5 millimeter input. I'm sure that I could use something that was amplified more, that was a higher level. Maybe that would work, but that's kind of a shame that I can't get that level up high enough to use that mic. So if anybody has any tips on a trick or something I could do to solve that problem, let me know. I'm going to put this mic back over here. So, and while we're on the subject of the MixPre-6, the other issue that I ran into, and by the way, I love the unit. Not returning it, love the unit, even with these little foibles. The power supply, it's powered by a USB-C port on it, and you need a pretty powerful power supply. I ended up buying one that was 45 watt off of Amazon. I think it was about 25, 30 bucks, something like that. And it's doing the job. But I tried several other power bricks with the USB-C plugged in and plugged into the unit, and they were not putting out enough power. So I think you need like 5 amps or something output, or maybe 4 amps. I don't know how much you need, but it's not going to be. I tried one that was rated at 3 amps, and it wouldn't do it. So I heard people claim that 3 amps would be enough, but not in my experience. So let me know what you think as far as what units you're using to power the unit, especially if you're doing it with one of these portable battery packs, and you're getting them to be able to have enough power to power it. Let me know what one you ended up settling on, because I might want to get a portable power pack to power it, because the 4 AA batteries, the battery tray that it comes with, and they do have a couple of optional ones, one that I think takes 8 AA batteries, and one that takes the Sony Handycam batteries that will give you much longer runtime. But the stock one that comes with the 4 batteries, that's going to run out pretty quick on you. Maybe a couple hours, I would say max, is all you really would want to count on that. So, trying to think what else on the MixPre-6. I think that's about it. I've got, I think that's it. So, if there are any questions, chime in, but I've had a couple of questions about the setup I have here. And again, just to run through the equipment that I have that's making all this happen. One is the A6500 camera with the Voigtlander lens. That's camera 1. If I go to camera 2, that is my Panasonic FZ1000, and that is a close-up on the MixPre-6, which is what I'm using for the audio. And then if I go to camera 3, you can see the Roland switcher, hardware switcher here in the foreground. And then you can see the VidiuPro, Teradek VidiuPro, which is what I'm using to do the streaming. And of course, we went over the Sennheiser wireless mics. It's always good to have a wireless mic available. And then this over-the-shoulder shot, this shot that we're on right now, is courtesy of my Sony A7S Mark II with the 24-70 f4 lens on it. I think it's at about f5.6. And everything's, of course, set to manual focus. All 3 cameras are on manual focus. So I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this broadcast. If there are any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. My website is CraigShipp.com, CraigShipp.com. And we'll just keep getting it done. Thanks for watching. Hey, please subscribe. Absolutely subscribe.